Hey guys, this is another inbox review, in fact the last of the three that I promised. It is of course a well-known Russian tank throughout the Second World War, which was used with great effect, the T34 76. Now I just recently found out, because I'm not very familiar with the history of this vehicle, I thought myself it was just this and the T34 85 that were produced. Now apparently this was the second production, the 1943 model known as the Kursk. It was an improvement on the earlier one, which was known as the Stalingrad, whereby, as opposed to a sort of a circular, fairly oblong turret, it had a more rectangular turret and had the two hatches for the loader and the commander, and had bulletproof glass, thicker armour, but slightly lighter weight, and had a V6 diesel engine, which gave it more power and speed. It was used with great effect at the Battle of Prokhorovka during the Battle of Kursk, whereby it came and defeated most of the Panther and Tiger tanks there. And then obviously later on the next model was the T34-85, which not only served in the latter stages of the Second World War, but right up until the war in Korea, as it was used by the North Korean forces out there. As you can see, this is an old kit, a fairly old kit. I think it dates back to around about 1992, and I'm not sure it's in production now. But I actually sourced this from a buyer on eBay at a very good rate. His name is Simon K. 6113, and in brackets 1350. He's a very good seller on eBay, and he was kind enough to leave me a metal barrel inside the kit, so I really appreciate that, Simon. Thank you very much, buddy. But check him out. Okay, as I say, I didn't actually get it at the price that was indicated on the box. I actually got it at a far cheaper rate than that, so really good deal, so thank you, Simon. Anyway, as you can see, it got the familiar box art, as it is purchased by the white boxes. Beautiful illustration of T34 7643 production. And on the side, again, you've got the box illustration with the kit number, if you're after it, is 35953/1600. So if you want to pause that, by all means do so, if you want to make a note of that. Then on the other side, you've got the other range of tanks that were in the 135th range then, as you can see here. I must admit, this one quite interests me quite a bit. I wonder if that one's still available. Anyway, and then on the back, because this is a Japanese import, it's all in Japanese about the history of the tank. And then you can see the subtle differences between the earlier model, which was the Stalingrad, and then obviously this version, which is the 1943 Kursk production. Okay. Right, let's see what's inside. First off, you've got the familiar instruction sheet of Tamiya's with all the actual history about and development of this particular model, which actually is quite full and extensive on this particular kit, as you can see here. And further to that, barring the actual colour call-outs, you can see the subtle differences between the Stalingrad version at the top there and the Kursk version here. So there you go. I must admit, I definitely want to get hold of the Stalingrad version if I can. Then obviously the first stage is you've got all the sprue trees there, but surprisingly in this one, because it was an earlier kit, there is no colour guides to this, so you'll have to do a bit of research on this, guys. Okay. Then you've got your safety guide there. There's an illustration of the kit as it's assembled. And then first off, familiar thing that we do in armour is the assembly of the running gear, which is the sprocket, the idler wheel and the running wheels, as you see there. And then assemble those to the lower hull along with the front armour. And I think this looks like a tow bar, which is screwing at the back here, because this was when you could be able to really control these kits. And obviously you've got the little plastic lugs which go in there as the hubs, and the plastic lugs also go in the back so you can move the wheels. You've got plastic lugs here which actually is used to actually put on the lower part of the hull. Then the assembly of the front hatch, which is the driver's hatch. Next is They explain how you can actually stretch your sprue for the antennae. I tend to use already made stuff. And then the assembly of the tracks and how you melt them together. Now, to be honest, I will be sourcing aftermarket, okay? And then you've got a shot of the crew figures on the fully assembled tank, which I must admit does look rather good. Then you move on to the assembly of the upper hull with all the sub-assemblies such as the back plate, the exhausts. Then you've got the storage boxes either side, the engine grille, and the front driver's hatch, machine gun, and then obviously you've got the one and only headlight there. Then it's the assembly of the actual main barrel, including the actual mantlet and the breech, which you see there. So you have possibly got the option of detailing interior if you want to scratch build it. And you've got the option of 2 turrets for either model, depending on which version you're going to build. And then obviously assembly of the commander's cupola there, and the loader's hatch. You can either have them open or closed, as you can see there. Then you assemble the barrel and the mantlet to the main turret, putting the lid on the top. Okay. Then you've got the viewport hatch there, along with the turret ring. And then you assemble that to the lower hull, and the lower hull goes on, the upper hull goes on to the lower hull. And then obviously you've got the ammunition packs which you make there, and then the fuel tanks which go on either side of the back of the tank, which is the familiar shape of the vehicle. And then here you've got a slight colour guide as to what colours to put with the crew figures. Now that does surprise me that there isn't any colour guide to the actual main kit itself, but as I say, this was an early Tamiya kit. And then obviously, last but not least, you've got your colour call-outs and versions of which tank you wanted to use during which campaign. And this one at the top here I think is the Kursk version. Interesting camo scheme as well. Right, so that's that. And then we get onto the main interesting part of the kit, is what's inside. Again, you've got the familiar, as I say, the 43 Kursk version had the rectangular turret, as you can see there. But the thing I like about this is they've got the lovely surface texture of all that casting on there. Beautifully reproduced, I have to say. And then obviously you've got the option of the 2 turret tops that you see there. Okay. There's the commander's cupola and the hatches. Okay. Which you see there. Okay, guys. Right. Then you've got the lower hull, and because this was an early kit, you had the option of radio control in this. This I'll just fill in with some sprue or plastic card and some filler. Then you've got the upper hull, as you can see here. Now, the only thing is there isn't much cast texture on here, so I might do some research. If there is, I might use Mr. Surfacer just to give it that texture. There's machine gun, but the thing I do like is the fact you've got the welding texture on there. Okay, very nicely done. Next sprue, you've got the crew figures, which you see here, beautifully reproduced. And I'm going to see if I can try the AK flesh sets on these. Oh yeah, that should be quite nice. And then obviously you've got the spare tracks, which I assume go on the side of the vehicle's turret, or on the vehicle's hull itself. Then the front mantlet, lovely, beautifully produced, and again with Tamiya, beautifully engineered, not 1 ounce of flash at all. Okay, there's the plastic lugs, which you see there, along with the wheel hubs. Okay, then we come on to the running gear. Again, not 1 ounce of flash there, beautifully produced. And that will come up beautifully with a wash. Actually, I got that round the wrong way. There you go. And some weathering, pigments, etc. Okay, so that's that. And next sprue is obviously you've got the engine grille there, which is beautifully produced. Again, I think you can source aftermarket etch brass sets for that, just to super detail it, which I might look into. There's the back plate. In fact, you've got one of 2 options here, I think. Okay. And there's the front I'll get it into shot, the front armour, which you see there. And then there's spare track links, and there's the driver's hatch, which is beautifully detailed. And then obviously, oh, that's interesting, you've got the option of 2. Oh, I suppose it's dependent on which model you want to do. Oh, right, okay. And then obviously you've got the exhaust stubs. Get it into shot, sorry about this guys. There, okay. There's your tow bars. They look a little artificial, so I might look into getting some aftermarket sets there again. Then you got your front machine gun. Get that into shot. Bear with me, guys. There you go. There's the front machine gun. Absolutely beautifully reproduced. Okay. And then last fruit. You've got the breech, which you see there. That'll look nicely weathered. And then you've got some actual storage sets there as well. So that look rather nice when it's washed up with a wash. And the thing I like with the ammunition racks is you've even got the wood grain on there. Isn't that great? Isn't that gorgeous? Really nicely done. And then obviously right here, if I can get him into shot, you've got the driver. Superb. And as I say, I'm going to use the AK flesh set on that just to enhance his features. Really beautifully done. And then there's the ordinary plastic. Horrible to me rubber tracks, but I have to say the detail on them looks really nicely done. However, I'm going to either source workable tracks or some aftermarket tracks from AFE or Bronco. And then you've got the decal sheet here for all the variants that you can use. Obviously units out in Russian 43, including some that were used at Kursk. They are a little bit faded, I have to say. I might put them in the sun or possibly source some aftermarket decals. I'll see. And then, as Simon was very kind, he actually supplied me with a nice metal cast barrel. So thanks, buddy, I really appreciate that. Okay, so that, my friends, is the kit in a nutshell. As I say, it looks like it's going to be a super little kit. I think I'm going to have to get some added extras. Possibly to enhance it a little bit more and correct it a little. But considering it's in one of their early ranges, it's certainly got a wealth of detail in it. And I love the cast effect on the turret, I have to say. So anyway, if you get a chance, look these up on eBay. I'm not sure if they're still in production now. But all in all, it's a super little kit, guys, and one of a very iconic tank in the Russian armour during the Second World War. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, subscribe. If you didn't, find someone else, as I said. Anyway, that's the last of my reviews for now. I've actually got some more kits that will be coming in next month, but I'll show you those on my monthly update. Anyway, until then, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon, guys.